Hello and good afternoon. I'm Mohanapriya. Welcome to Updates at Noon. The headlines in a moment, but first, former Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng was charged in the Butterworth Sessions Court today with using his position to receive gratification of more than 3.3 million ringgit to help a company to secure the 6.3 billion ringgit Penang undersea tunnel project. Lim, 60, however, pleaded not guilty to the charge, which was read out before Judge Ahmad Azhari Abdul Hamid. Lim was charged in his capacity as the Chief Minister of Pulau Pinang then to have abused his position to obtain 3.3 million ringgit in gratification for himself as an inducement for helping a company owned by Datuk Zarul Ahmad Mohamad Zulkifli to secure the project. The Bagan Member of Parliament was alleged to have committed the offence at the office of the Pulau Pinang Chief Minister in Komta, Georgetown, between January 2011 and August 2017. The charge was framed under Section 23, subsection 1 of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009 and punishable under Section 24, subsection 1 of the same law, which provides imprisonment for up to 20 years and fine of not less than 5 times the sum or value of the gratification or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher, if found guilty. Deputy Public Prosecutor Ahmad Akram Garib from MACC is leading the prosecution team, while lawyers Gobind Singh Deo and Ram Karpal Singh represented Lim. The controversial undersea tunnel project, stretching 7.2 kilometres, will link the island state from Persiaran Gurni to the mainland at Bagan Anjam. Work on the project is scheduled to begin in 2023. The allegation by a social media user that no action was taken by the police on gambling premises around Bandar Baru Sungai Buloh in Selangor is not true. Sungai Buloh District Police Chief Superintendent Syafatun Abu Bakar said, based on statistics, until July this year, the police had conducted 40 raids and 132 arrests for gambling around the district. Syafatun said that for the year 2019, 91 raids and 107 arrests were made, and this clearly proves that the police have never conspired with gambling activities. She added that the last time an operations was conducted was 2 weeks ago, and this shows that the claim of the account owner that no action was taken is a slanderous and baseless accusation.
Ingin saya menegaskan bahawa pihak polis, khasnya Ibu Pejabat Polis Daerah Sungai Buloh, tidak pernah berkompromi dengan mana-mana sindiket perjudian dan juga sindiket penyeludupan, seperti mana yang telah didakwa di dalam video yang telah ditularkan oleh penama Facebook Asri Janggul. Pihak polis sentiasa mengambil tindakan tegas dan tindakan itu berterusan untuk membenteras kegiatan perjudian khasnya di kawasan Ibu Pejabat Polis Daerah Sungai Buloh.
Syafatun said her team had opened an investigation paper on the allegations and will call the social media user to provide evidence. The police have opened an investigation paper in accordance with Section 500 and Section 504 of the Penal Code, as well as Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. Meanwhile, Syafatun said the police will work with various agencies, such as the Royal Malaysian Customs Department, Immigration Department, and others in tackling the issue of gambling or cigarette smuggling in the district. The Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar, has expressed anger over poaching activities that are still going on in the state forests. The ruler was also disappointed that no action had been taken against the perpetrators, even though he had raised the issue several times. Sultan Ibrahim said he was exasperated after receiving photographs of a large-scale poaching activity that took place in the state last Saturday night. On his official Facebook page, the ruler instructed the Wildlife and National Parks Department, Perkhidmatan, and the police to immediately conduct an investigation and prepare a full report on the incident. He also wants the perpetrators to be brought to justice. Sultan Ibrahim said, based on preliminary information, the illegal activities took place in several locations, including Endau Rompen, Mersing and Kahang, adding that animals such as mouse deer and porcupines are being poached on a large scale to be sold for traditional medicine purposes. His Highness also wants the authorities to investigate the possible involvement of insiders in the illegal activity. Sultan Ibrahim stressed that hunting activities are strictly prohibited in the state, except to control wild animals in agricultural areas. All exit and entry points in Kuala Sanglang are fully closed beginning today. Police also intensify controls at 3 rat trails, namely one in Kampung Tanah Timbul and 2 in Kampung Kuala Sanglang, as the 2 villages are now placed under the Targeted Enhanced Movement Control Order (EMCO) to contain the spread of the COVID-19 infection. All 872 residents have undergone COVID-19 screening and adhere to stipulated standard operating procedure. Perlis Police Chief Datuk Surina Saad said residents in both villages were not allowed to leave the house and they had to serve quarantine at home until the targeted EMCO period is over. She said that only the heads of families were allowed to go out to get necessities, limited to inside the targeted EMCO area only. Meanwhile, Surina said that police are not issuing any letter permitting any individual to go in or out of the targeted EMCO area. Such letters would only be issued by the Health Ministry. The order to close or postpone all religious activities in mosques and surau in Targeted Enhanced Movement Control Order (EMCO) areas depend on the advice of the National Security Council and the Health Ministry. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli Mohamad Al-Bakri, said the Standard Operating Procedure or SOP related to congregational prayers is very firm.
Perkara ini bergantung kepada nasihat KKM dan MKM. Kita amat berhati-hati dan kita dalam SOP berkenaan dengan solat jemaah adalah amat-amat tegas dan jelas, di mana jika sekiranya berlaku wabak di satu-satu tempat, maka atas nasihat dan syur Kementerian Kesihatan dan MKN Majlis Keselamatan Negara, maka itulah yang akan diambil oleh kerajaan negeri, tindakan untuk menutup berdasarkan kepada maslahah semasa dan setempat, berdasarkan kepada kerjasama yang erat antara pihak kerajaan negeri, MKN dan KKM, dan kita amat setuju berdasarkan kepada SOP yang telah kita tetapkan.
The minister said this when asked if there was a need to close all surau and mosques in the targeted EMCO areas following the spread of COVID-19 infection from the Sivaganga cluster. Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba confirmed that only 3 states, namely Kedah, Perlis and Pulau Pinang, recorded individuals who were positive COVID-19 from the Sivaganga cluster. Kerteh Fire and Rescue Station personnel rescued a female green agar turtle weighing 150 kilograms, which was trapped under a fallen tree in Pantai Cakar Hutan, Kampung Labuhan, Kemaman, Terengganu. Terengganu Fire and Rescue Operations Centre Officer, Senior Assistant Controller Shahrizal Shamsuddin said a team was deployed to the location after receiving a distress call at 8:20 a.m. Upon arriving, the team found a turtle trapped under a fallen tree before they cleared a path and cut the tree. The turtle was successfully freed and was not injured, and it was released back to the sea. He said the operation ended at 10 a.m. Coming up, Ministry to take stern action against non-performing contractors. The government is ready to assist small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, including micro-entrepreneurs, in restarting their business activities to ensure that the country is on track to achieve its economic recovery target next year. Senior Minister cum International Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali said the ministry, together with the Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation, Sirim Berhad, and the Malaysia Automotive Robotics and IoT Institute, is ready to assist industries such as food and beverage, animal husbandry and automotive so that they will be able to contribute to the country's GDP. Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin said the ministry wanted SME sectors to resume the activities for the nation's economy to recover by next year. And right now, the ministry is on the right track towards ensuring that the target can be achieved.
Sekiranya kita dapat segera memulakan ekonomi pada tahun 2021, badan-badan antarabangsa seperti Bank Dunia, IMF dan juga SMP telah menyatakan Malaysia antara negara yang terawal dapat mencatatkan pertumbuhan ekonomi yang positif di antara 6.3% hingga 7.5%.
He added the reopening of the economic sectors, which started in May, managed to reduce the unemployment rate from about 860,000 to 773,000 in June. The minister was met after his meeting with the Bumiputra entrepreneurs in conjunction with his working visit to Sabah. Meanwhile, MITI and its agencies would continue to ensure dynamic growth for Bumiputra SMEs in Sabah involved in the manufacturing sector. The minister said industries owned by women also have prospects of enhancing Sabah's economic growth. He said MITI would assist in providing facilitation in the form of capacity building, tax reduction incentive for automation, as well as business matching program with foreign importers. Stern action, including contract termination, will be taken against contractors who fail to complete projects under the Housing and Local Government Ministry, KPKT, within the stipulated period. As such, its Minister, Zuraida Kamaruddin, said a new unit under the supervision of the Ministry Deputy Secretary General would be set up to closely monitor all the projects, especially housing projects. The minister reminded all contractors to ensure that each ministry project awarded to them would be completed on schedule.
Sekiranya kontraktor tidak menepati progres dan kalau kita harus hentikan mereka serta-merta kita harus hentikan mereka. Jadi dengan pemantauan ini TKSU Dr. Mary Wong akan bertanggungjawab. Kita buat satu unit yang baru, dulu tak ada. TKSU saya tanggungjawabkan untuk memantau semua projek di bawah KPKT untuk pastikan tidak berlaku lagi perkara seperti begini.
Zuraida said this after visiting the construction site of the Gayang Two People's Housing Project, PPR, near Tuaran. Meanwhile, she urged contractors involved in the PPR project to install closed-circuit television cameras at the construction sites of the housing scheme, adding such installation would be among measures to deter vandalism, littering and crime at the construction sites. The palm oil price, which stands at 2,800 ringgit per tonne, currently provides opportunities for the industry and oil palm planters to generate higher revenue from the sale of their products. Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister Datuk Dr. Muhammad Khairuddin Aman Razali said the increase in the commodity price had boosted the country's palm oil export, which recorded a 6% rise for the January to June 2020 period and contributed an export value worth 22.57 billion ringgit. The minister said even though faced with challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, the government's strategy of giving relaxation and permission had enabled the oil palm planters to go to their plantations, harvest fresh fruit bunches and operate factories even at the minimum capacity initially during the movement control order.
Kerana sepanjang tempoh berlakunya PKP, sektor sawit dibenarkan beroperasi oleh kerajaan, maka kesannya ialah kita masih dapat membekalkan bekalan minyak seperti mana keadaan sebelumnya.
Datuk Dr. Muhammad Khairuddin was met after officiating the JOM MSPO program at the Pagoh Education Hub Convention Centre. In international relations news, U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar met with Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen on Monday during the highest-level visit by an American cabinet official since the break in formal diplomatic ties between Washington and Taipei in 1979. Now, Tsai said to reporters at the presidential office building that she looked for even more breakthroughs and fruits of cooperation in dealing with the coronavirus pandemic and other issues to jointly contribute to the sustained peaceful development of the Indo-Pacific region. Azar praised Taiwan's response to COVID-19 and said its success was a tribute to the open, transparent, democratic nature of Taiwan's society and culture. Azar is due to hold consultations with health officials and deliver a speech later in the day. Beijing has protested Azar's visit as a betrayal of U.S. commitments not to have official contact with the island that China claims as its own territory and threatens to use force to bring under its control. Azar's visit was facilitated by the 2018 passage of the Taiwan Travel Act, which encouraged Washington to send high-level officials to Taiwan after decades during which such contacts were rare. China cut contacts with Tsai over her refusal to recognize China's claim to the island and has brought increasing diplomatic, economic and military pressure against her. That, in turn, has increased already considerable bipartisan sympathy for Taipei in Washington and prompted new measures to strengthen governmental and military ties. Taiwan, an island of 23 million people, moved swiftly and aggressively to contain COVID-19 and has recorded just 277 cases and 7 deaths from the illness. Still ahead, at least 43 killed in monsoon-triggered India landslide. Six French tourists and their local guide and driver were killed on Sunday by gunmen riding motorcycles in an area of southwestern Niger that is home to the last West African giraffes. It is believed to be the first such attack on Western tourists in the area, a popular attraction in the former French colony thanks to its unique population of West African or Niger giraffes. Officials said there are 8 dead, 2 Nigerians, including a guide and a driver, while the other 6 are French. A source close to Niger's environmental services said the assault took place at around 11:30 a.m., 6 kilometers east of the town of Koire, which is an hour's drive from the capital Niamey. The source said the tourist's vehicle belonged to the French humanitarian organization ACTED. France's presidency confirmed that French citizens had been killed in Niger without giving the number of dead. French President Emmanuel Macron also spoke on the phone with his Niger counterpart, Mohamedou Issoufou, according to the Elysee Palace. At least 43 bodies have been recovered after a massive landslide triggered by monsoon rains swept away dozens of tea estate workers in southwestern India. Police on Sunday said the landslide in Idukki district, around 250 kilometers from Kerala's state capital Thiruvananthapuram, occurred on Friday, but the ongoing search and rescue efforts have been hampered by torrential downpours. The toll rose to 43 on Sunday afternoon, as confirmed by Idukki District's Police Chief R. Karupasamy. A police official said earlier Sunday that 26 of the bodies were recovered on Friday night. Local media reported that some 78 people were believed to live in the area, with many still missing. Kerala has been hit by deadly floods during the annual monsoon. At least 18 people died in a passenger jet crashed in Kerala on Friday when an Air India Express jet overshot the runway while trying to land in a storm and plunged down a bank. The monsoon across South Asia is critical to replenishing rivers and groundwater, but also causes widespread death and destruction. The Indian Meteorological Department has predicted extremely heavy rainfall in Kasaragod, Kannur, Wayanad, Kozhikode, Malappuram and Alappuzha district. More than 300 people have died in floods and landslides in eastern and northeastern India, Bangladesh and Nepal in recent weeks. Meanwhile, a baby was among 7 people who died as torrential rains and floods swept the Greek island of Evia, damaging dozens of houses and blocking roads. A spokesman for firefighters involved in rescue efforts said the 8-month-old baby was found dead in a house in the village of Politka on Sunday. However, the baby's parents were unharmed. Hours earlier, a man and woman in their 80s were found unconscious by firefighters in 2 houses in the same village. They were confirmed dead at the hospital. 2 other people who died, a 74-year-old man and a 73-year-old woman, were from the village of Burtsi. The 5 dead were among an earlier official toll, which also listed 1 person as missing following torrential rains late Saturday and early Sunday. In a new toll, firefighters said 7 people had died, but gave no immediate details of who they were and that 1 person remains missing. 1 woman was found after being reported missing. Storm Thalia battered several regions of mainland Greece on Saturday, though the weather was improving on Sunday. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis voiced his profound pain for the loss of lives and said he would visit Evia, Greece's 2nd largest island after Crete, on Monday. Police in Belarus are in control of the situation amid opposition protests after a tense presidential vote that critics say was rigged, according to state news agency Belta on Monday. Belta, citing the Interior Ministry, said police are in control of the situation at unsanctioned mass events following clashes in the capital, Minsk, and other cities. Several people were injured in the clashes in the capital, according to a witness. A spokeswoman for the Interior Ministry declined to comment if anyone had been injured in the demonstrations. Opposition-linked media outlets, including Tutbai and Nasha Niva, reported clashes with police and said a police van had rammed into a crowd of protesters. There were also reports of water cannon and rubber bullets being fired. According to the state exit poll, long-time Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko won Sunday's presidential election with 79.7% of the vote, securing a 6th term in office. Lukashenko's main opposition challenger Svetlana Tikhanovskaya came second with 6.8%, according to the poll. She swiftly said she did not trust the official figures, insisting on a majority win. Coming up in sports, Morbidelli ends a podium drought since 2018. Petronas Yamaha Sepang racing team MotoGP rider Franco Morbidelli finally ended his podium drought since 2018 after finishing in 2nd place at the Czech Republic GP at the Brno circuit yesterday. The 25-year-old Italian, who commenced in the 3rd spot on starting grid, took control of the early part of the race. However, South African rider Brad Binder of Red Bull KTM Factory Racing displayed a sterling performance by pipping him during the 12th lap before he went on to clinch his maiden MotoGP title this season. Binder, the 2019 Moto2 runners-up, clocked 41 minutes 38.764 seconds, followed by Morbidelli and French rider Johan Zarco of Esponsorama Racing in 2nd and 3rd place respectively, behind by 5.266 seconds and 6.470 seconds. Morbidelli's teammate Fabio Quartararo, who secured back-to-back victory at the Spain GP and Andalusia GP at the Jerez circuit last month, came in 7th place out of 18 riders, clocking 41 minutes 50.591 seconds in the 21-lap race. Morbidelli tasted his last victory when he rode for Belgian-based team Marc Vidies in Moto2 class in 2017. Now the next race is the Austrian GP, to be held at the Red Bull Ring circuit in Spielberg, Austria, from 14th to the 16th of August. Max Verstappen delivered Red Bull's first victory at Silverstone since 2012 on Sunday, when he made the most of a superior strategy in sizzling conditions to beat both Mercedes and claim victory in the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. It was the Dutchman's first victory of the season after Mercedes had won all 4 season opening races and the 9th of his career. Spanish side Atletico Madrid on Sunday reported 2 positive coronavirus tests just 4 days before they face Leipzig in Portugal for a place in the Champions League semi-finals. Now, a club statement said all members of the first team and the club's party to Lisbon underwent tests on Saturday, as required by UEFA protocols to participate in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. It said among the results known on Sunday, 2 positives have appeared and they are self-isolating in their respective homes. It's not revealed whether the 2 positive cases involved players or backroom staff. Atletico said the Spanish and Portuguese football and health authorities have been informed and that a fresh round of tests will be carried out on the squad and support team. They recognise this could mean last-minute changes to travel schedules as well as accommodation plans in the Portuguese capital. The statement added the club will coordinate the new schedules with UEFA, and as soon as there is a new plan, it will be made public. The team were due to travel to Portugal on Monday for the closing stages of the Champions League, which is being held in Lisbon as a precaution against COVID-19, rather than risk having teams travelling across Europe for home and away ties. The self-contained 8-team tournament will be staged behind closed doors, starting on Wednesday, with the final also set for Lisbon on 23rd August. The Champions League had been put on hold since March because of the virus, with the last 16 stage only completed on Friday and Saturday. And that's it from us this afternoon. In our top story today, police deny not taking action against gambling premises in Sungai Buloh. News at 10 comes on this evening on My Freeview's Berita RTM News channel. I'm Mohana Priya. Thanks for watching.